Right now, someone could be looking at you. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But the moment that thought entered your mind, something changed. Your chest moved differently. Your breath, a half second ago automatic and invisible, became something you were suddenly aware of. You took control of it without deciding to. You never noticed that you breathe differently when you're watched, but your body has been doing it your entire life. Think about the last time you walked into a quiet room full of people, a meeting that had already started, a waiting room, a row of strangers on a train. Your breathing tightened. It got shallower, higher in your chest, quieter. You were trying to disappear. And the strange part is, no one told you to do that. No one ever taught you the rules. Your body simply knew that being watched meant being assessed. And being assessed meant you needed to make yourself smaller. But the real answer is far stranger than nervousness. Because this isn't a quirk of shy people. It isn't a personality flaw. It's a reflex older than language, older than fire, older than the human face itself. And it reveals something unsettling about what you actually are underneath the calm surface you present to the world. Let's start with the breath itself. Your breathing is the only vital function that runs on two control systems at once. Your heartbeat is automatic. Your digestion is automatic. You cannot decide to stop your kidneys. But your breath sits in a rare place. It runs itself when you ignore it, and it obeys you the instant you pay attention to it. This is not an accident. This dual control is one of the oldest design features of the nervous system, and it exists for a single reason. Breath is the one internal process that connects directly to the outside world. When you are calm and alone, your breath is slow and deep. It pulls air all the way into the base of your lungs. Your belly rises. Your nervous system is resting in what scientists call the parasympathetic state, the mode of safety and repair. Stephen Porges, a neuroscientist who spent decades mapping this system, gave it a name that has reshaped how we understand the body. He called it the polyvagal theory. At its core is a simple idea. Your body is constantly scanning the environment for one question, beneath all conscious thought. Am I safe, or am I being hunted? And here is what Porges discovered. Your body answers that question before your mind even forms it. The process is so fast and so automatic that he gave it its own word. Neuroception. Not perception, which is conscious. Neuroception, which is detection without awareness. Your nervous system perceives threat and reacts to it, while your thinking brain is still catching up. So what does a watching pair of eyes do to a creature running this ancient software? For almost the entire history of life on this planet, eyes pointed at you meant one thing. A predator had located you. The lion in the grass, the hawk overhead, the rival at the edge of the firelight. To be seen was to be in danger, because invisible prey survives and visible prey gets eaten. Every ancestor you have, going back hundreds of millions of years, lived because their body took being watched seriously. The ones who relaxed when eyes landed on them did not pass on their genes. They became someone else's meal. So your body built a response. The instant it neurocepts a gaze, it shifts. Your breath climbs higher in your chest. It quietens. It shortens. You freeze, just slightly, the way a deer freezes when it senses movement at the tree line. This is the body preparing, holding still, holding quiet, ready to run or fight or vanish. You are not anxious. You are prey, doing exactly what prey has always done. Have you ever felt your breath catch when someone stood behind you in line, just a little too close? That catch is 200 million years old. There is a famous experiment that makes this impossible to dismiss. In the 1970s and beyond, researchers studying human behavior found something they did not expect. People change their actions dramatically when they merely feel observed, even when no one is actually there. In one widely cited study, a psychologist named Melissa Bateson placed a small image above an office coffee station where people paid for drinks on an honor system. On some weeks, the image was of flowers. On other weeks, it was a pair of human eyes. Nothing else changed. No cameras, no supervisor, just a picture. When the eyes were watching, people paid nearly 3 times as much money. Read that again. A photograph of eyes, which everyone consciously knew was just paper, reached past their reason and changed their behavior. Their nervous systems neurocepted a watcher and responded as if one were real. This is how deep it runs. You do not need a real observer. You only need the suggestion of one, and your ancient circuitry takes over. And your breath is the front line of that circuitry. Here is something you can test on yourself. The next time you feel watched, notice where your breath sits. Notice how it lifts toward your throat. Notice how you start to control its rhythm, smoothing it, hiding it, as if irregular breathing might give you away. Because to a predator it would. A gasp, a ragged breath, a sigh. These are signals. They reveal fear, exhaustion, location. The hunted animal learns to breathe in silence. And so do you, without ever being taught. But there is a deeper layer here, and this is where it becomes truly strange. Humans did something no other animal did. We turned the predator into each other. For most of your evolutionary story, the dangerous eyes belonged to other species. But somewhere along the line, your ancestors became social to a degree almost no creature has ever matched. They lived in tight groups where survival depended entirely on the group's acceptance. And in that world, a new predator emerged. The judging eye of your own kind. Being watched no longer meant a lion. It meant being evaluated by the very people who could exile you. And exile, in the ancestral world, was a death sentence. Alone, you could not hunt enough, defend yourself, or survive the night. So the watching gaze of another human became the most important signal in your environment. More important than weather. More important than hunger. Your standing in the eyes of others was, in the most literal sense, life or death. And your body knew it. The same circuit that braced against predators now braced against social judgment. And it used the same tool to do it. Your breath. This is why public speaking terrifies so many people more than physical danger. Surveys consistently find that the fear of speaking in front of a crowd ranks above the fear of death itself. It sounds absurd until you understand what your body is doing. Standing in front of 100 watching faces, your neuroception screams that you are surrounded. 100 predators, 100 eyes that could cast you out. Your breath flies up into your chest, shallow and fast. Your voice tightens. Your hands shake. You are not weak. You are a small social animal who has wandered, alone, into a field of watching eyes. And every cell in your body is responding to it the way it was built to. The psychologist Mark Leary spent his career studying this exact feeling. He called it the sociometer, the internal gauge that constantly measures how accepted or rejected you are by the people around you. And when that gauge swings toward rejection, toward being watched and found wanting, your body floods with the same stress chemistry it would use to face a physical threat. Your breath is the first thing to change, and the last thing you think about. Now look at the world you actually live in. You carry a glass rectangle that can place you in front of thousands of watching eyes in a single second. You post a thought, and your ancient sociometer treats every silent viewer as a face in the firelight. Judging. You walk past cameras you cannot count. You move through a society that watches itself more constantly than any society in history. And your body. Running software written for a small band of 50 people who all knew your name. Cannot tell the difference. To your nervous system, 10,000 strangers scrolling past your face are 10,000 predators at the edge of the clearing. Is it any wonder you feel watched even when you are alone? Is it any wonder your breath rarely drops all the way down anymore? Here is the part worth sitting with. You cannot turn this system off. It is not a bug. It kept every one of your ancestors alive long enough to become you. But you can do something the prey animal never could. You can notice it. You can feel the breath climb. Recognize what it is, and gently send it back down. A slow breath into the belly is a message your nervous system understands without words. It says, no predator is here. You are safe. You can stop hiding. Because that is what your shallow breath has always been. Hiding. A 200-million-year-old attempt to make yourself quiet, small and invisible to the eyes that might mean your end. So tomorrow, when you walk into that quiet room, or open that camera, or feel the weight of a stranger's gaze on the back of your neck, pay attention to the one thing your body cannot hide from you. Right now, someone could be looking at you, and the moment you remember that, your breath will tell you everything your ancestors ever knew about staying alive.